The set you are about to watch is from a BandanaT's tournament I hosted this weekend. I wanted to get a wide variety from our players, and so I asked them all to bring 3 unique decks to this tournament. In the deck, I mean that they are not allowed to use any duplicates whatsoever, so if they use recalls in one deck, that's it. They can't use recalls in any of their other decks. Players then must win with all 3 decks. If they win with one of the decks, they cannot win with it again for the rest of the set. So, let's get into it. Scores. Let me make sure I got the team names the right way round. Indeed, I do. Boanaan versus Boanaan. That's not best of 3. I need to make sure that that's corrected. It is a best of 5. Boing boing. Right, here we go. Sorry, I'm managing too many things at once. But yes, here we go. Going into it. So, Dewalt, we've obviously seen a lot of his decks now. We've seen all of them. Boanaan, we haven't seen him for a while. Is it Boanaan? 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 Boanaan. Boanaan feels correct. No, David King knows who live. That is true. Maybe this is the ploy by the BandanaT's team, so that they know where their top players live. They complain about balance. Yes, we have Scorpion Hunter on one side, and we have Guardian Shield Gunbot on the other side from Dewalt, the sort of defended side. We see, yeah, Gunbot Crusader that we've seen before. Boas and none. Oh, that makes sense, yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense. Boanaan. So yeah, we have Scorpion Hunter, both players immediately taking up to tier 2, no third base quite yet. Third bases, they do have the resources to do so, but both players are holding right now. So, might be just a spread of Crusader versus Crab. I'm so excited to see King Crab. I don't know if it's even going to be here at all. It might just be Shockers. But, yeah, I don't know. I love King Crab. Single Gunbot's going to do hero's work down here. Gets a Lurch on top. A couple of Scorpions get picked off. I think 1 or 2 Gunbots killed off. Lotteries for his name, I think, just boosts it. Well, I mean, it could be. It's a very legitimate thing. It's one of these things where if I was more prepared, I could have asked players for pronunciations and things like pronouns, but I don't, so I'm gonna have to win it. Crusader's now into the mix. There's a lot of Scorpions here. Not a lot of splash. Shockers are out in the field. Now, Shockers are extremely high damage splash units. Decent range. But yeah, it looks like the Gargantuans are going to come off. Meanwhile, Dewalt is going to go straight to those assault bots. Effectively saying, hey, I hope you don't have splash. Shockers, though, are such high damage splash. Like, wait, you'll see if these ever get a hit off on the gunbots, they will just vaporize stuff. But their damage outside is just not. It's outside of splash is not hot. They're also not very fast units. But Gargantuans are here, and Gargantuans, just look at those green. Look at the green. They only don't lose to Guardian Shield. I don't know why they don't lose to Guardian Shield. Mainly because I guess they can't fight back. And assault bots are good. Don't get me wrong. Assault bots are just gunbots, but better. They're, I think, the same cost. They are higher range, higher damage, higher health. But yeah, it is effectively going to come down to Shocker Micro. And so, Dewalt's here going to try and run some units by. This is what we call like APM stretching at this point. He's saying like, hey, I'm going to try and make you make a mistake by just throwing stuff at you. If I keep throwing stuff at you all the time, maybe you'll miss micro when it matters. But obviously every little unit you throw out into the wild and every units you throw away are units that aren't used in a fight. We are actually heading up to near 175 bandwidth. This is called just like the supply of the game. To 144 at the moment. But Gargantuan's taking 10 each. 10 supply each. So yeah, Boanaan literally gonna just stay to it. Not higher HP. Oh, do they actually not have higher HP? They do have higher range, but not higher HP. Okay, thanks for the correction. I actually did not know that. I thought they had slightly higher HP, but I guess not. Couple of gunbots making a little poke in here. Both players stocking up and tanking up. Dewalt is actually capped right now, so now he's starting to throw away. This is what he's doing. He's effectively throwing away these gunbots to try and get as much damage he can. And he doesn't care if these die, because he's going to immediately replace them with assault bots. Because assault bots are, as I said, just better gunbots. So you can see he's literally filtering through and finding just the gunbots, and he's just sending them out. But look at this absolute divide across the map. Second base, no, that's not fair. Fourth base is up by both players. So much resources on the board. Yeah, huge amount. 3,000 on this side, 2,000 on this. Both these armies will trade and both players will be immediately able to rebuild their armies. At least in core units. The real restriction here is going to be electricity. Gargantuan going down here, managing to clear this all out. Both players just sort of dividing the map. Dewalt is got such a beautiful sort of concave across this entire map now. He is hoping that he can catch this all out of position and get one big sweep. We have a push coming into this top base. A couple of assault bots, a couple of crusaders. This whole army is going to get pulled up to the top here. Try and clear this out, and they will clear it out. Boanaan doesn't entirely care. Trades out quite a lot of it just to replace it all with crusaders. But if it does come down to a sudden death, then it's all fine. Okay, army coming in. We're all going to see it. This is one of these times where I really wish I could zoom out, because I feel like I'm going to have a fight going from like 11 million angles. Observing this is going to be a nightmare. But the amount of gargantuans, I mean, this army is effectively all gargantuans. It's just like there's like 6 shockers and like 11 million gargantuans. And now we're going to see the same thing sort of happen on Boanaan's side. He's going to start trading out. Oh. 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 Okay, I thought the game would froze there. No, he just genuinely had stopped walking. Looking like Mass Thor, legitimately. I mean, Gargantuans, look at this. There's nothing on this that really loses. Okay, we have a huge amount of movement across the map. Crusaders going in. Assault bots coming in. The Gargantuan armor has been spotted down at the bottom. He wants to make sure he avoids engaging on this too hard. Okay, here we go. Here's the engagement. A huge amount of Crusaders. Assault bots coming in as well. They're kind of getting a decent shot. Scorpions going on the top side. Have a huge number of Gargantuans. There's so many. This bottom side is going to win. This top side is going to win from Dewalt though. So it's effectively it. The number of Gargantuans is starting to drop down. The number of assault bots is not. Crusaders doing a pretty good hit. The reinforcements being streamed in from both sides. Those banks being spent constantly on both sides. I mean, both players have 5k and 6k resources respectively. Some damage has been done to Boanaan's economy, but not a lot. Like, he's rebuilt all of these Gargantuans. So many Gargantuans died. And they're still all here. But so many assault bots died, and it's still just army. As we get a second wave, a repeat of the fight we had before. Look at it on this top fight again. Assault bots pinging in, shockers getting really good shots and damage across of it. The number of Gargantuans is starting to drop down, but so is the number of assault bots, and assault bots can't be fighting Gargantuans one-to-one. They're good, but they're not that good. The reinforcement side is coming in. Fighting under Guardian Shield is able to do a little bit of additional damage right now. Single Crusader here. But it does look like, overall, Boanaan's managed to push in through this. There's such a huge number of Scorpions. There's such a huge number of Boanaans. But both players have effectively spent their entire bank. Look at that. That bank is completely down for both players. They are back down to a resource effective deficit. But look, 6-7 Gargantuans still alive. Sudden death. We've even got a sudden death and a 70% victory. Damn. GG's. Game number 1. What a game number 1, though. Jesus Christ. What a game 1. Should have been the freest army for assault bots. I don't know, man. It was like 1,000 Marines versus... This genuinely looks... Anyone seen those videos? That TikTok... I think it's TikTok and YouTube that are just like... Here's 7,000 Marines versus like 300 Ultralisks. And it's just that... It's just this video all over again. Boanaan 1-0 up in this series. They were anti-big previous beta. Yeah, Assault bots aren't anti-big anymore. They're just... good. They're just anti-everything. They're effectively a tier 3 replacement. I actually like, though, I like units, some units being like a tier 3 replacement in that like advanced foundry slot. It's a really interesting concept to put in there. Right. Game number 2. Boanaan up 1-0 in this series. Quick reminder of how this format works. So our players, if they win with a deck, they can't use that deck again, and no unit must be duplicated across all 3 decks. If they use a unit in one deck, so in that deck we had Gargantuans. No more Gargantuans in Boanaan's deck for the rest of this series. Dewalt on the other side does not have to switch deck, but could do. He thought something could counter the Gargantuan's critical misplay. Yeah, Gargantuans are they're big units that effectively counter. They only really hard lose to destroyers. I think they're literally the only thing that like actually hard counters them. Because even butterflies, they have a really strong anti-air. So yeah, no, Gargantuans are just, but they're also very expensive. And if you manage to survive, oh, Advanced Blinks. Oh, yeah, I always forget Advanced Blinks are anti-big as well. I literally always forget about them, even though they're really good. there's just something in my head that doesn't associate them with being like anti-big. I feel like if they're anti-big, they need to have like a big rocket or a missile or something, at least in my head. Yeah, oh, it's a stretch. It's a difficulty. Butterfly control versus guards would be big. So yeah, Gunbots versus Wasp Knight. Wasp Knight is going to be a very aggressive play. We do see a base 3 already and a tier going straight up to Foundry. Meanwhile, Boanaan has opted for going straight into Starforge for this Butterfly Flak turret. Assuming, not Butterfly, sorry, Dragonfly. And I assume he's going to save the resources to just tank straight into Butterflies. Oh my god, Butterflies, Dragonflies. Yeah, the expansion here felt brave into Wasp Knight, but he seems to have gotten away with it. Like I feel like Boanaan potentially could have just like rolled over this third base, but he had enough to sort of defend and hold off, and Boanaan has teched up twice. He's going straight to Shades now. Don't get me wrong, Shades are powerful, so Shades will splash damage air units, and against Gunbots they will just, and a whole wave of them will just die. He has got Heavy Hunters, though, in the mix. Heavy Hunters is sort of this anti-air, big anti-air grounded unit. So, I don't know. It's going to be Wasp Knight Shade Butterfly?
Set to aggressive. Shadows.
Okay. Big amount of Shades come in here. Gets a good surround. It is going to be able to pick off one of those Crusaders. Tech is visible to all players. I want to remind players at home, if you haven't played Battle Aces, you can see bases, you can see resources. You can't see into the bases, but you can see, you know, your opponent has built one or not. So he is aware about this tech up. Shades come in, the Heavy Hunters are there, but there's such a large amount of Shades. This is such a huge investment. But it's gonna do so much damage. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, that's a vaporization there. He's got to try and get the damage back on the other side, and so that's what he is going to do. He's going to try and pick up a base. This is effectively 2 bases worth of resources that he's killed. In fact, arguably even more, because there's these ones here. Does manage to pick off a base back. Shades come in now, and they are just going to effectively clear up everything except the Heavy Hunters. But the Heavy Hunters can't fight a ground battle. So they're going to have to retreat here. Retreats under his Guardian Shield. He's got to avoid the Shades. The Shades are slightly fast. Oh my god, all the Guardian Shields are gone. All of the Gunbots are gone. Now that backline's gone as well. These Shades have been so valuable. The damage is horrific. Yep. Boanaan looking absolutely phenomenal right now. Shades, yeah, very potent. This anti-ground splash unit. Just vaporizing everything. And so, we could have, potentially, our last match of the day. Boanaan up 2-0 right now. Dewalt. Gotta try and get his name on the board. Now, Boanaan is reduced to his last deck. He has one deck, and that is going to be his entire deck for the rest of the time. But yeah, that Shade Harass, absolutely insane. But yes, this is a little reminder to everyone that is here. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been wonderful. About to get into this last, well, potentially last game. Up 2-1 in the series right now. Sorry, 2-0 in the series right now. Boanaan reduced to his final deck. He is going for Blink, Hornet, and we have, yeah, Blink Hunter. Yeah, Boanaan is hunting that 60. Yes, if he wins this without getting reset, which he is on track to do, he will be getting 60% of the prop. And more importantly, that Bomber statue. So we're seeing Blink Hunter versus Blink Hornet here. Bomber, Mortar, and we've even got the Gargantuan here. We do have a 2 anti-big here though. Both players going straight to second bases. Question of what's going to be coming out when we next hit that resources. So we see both players teching. We have seen Starforge for Butterfly Mammoth. And on the other side, going for splash damage. That Mortar set up. Maybe just going for the Gargantuan and just being like, hey, if I have Gargantuan and enough Blink Hunters to deal with your butterflies, maybe I just win. And that's kind of his win condition here. Yeah, both players going for third bases on very similar timing, hitting those 400. This game, very easy to understand because this electricity ticks up. So you effectively spend your first 400 on this, either a base or a resource. Most people go for a fast expand straight off the bat. Your second 400, it either goes to a third base if both of you are sitting on third bases, or it goes to another tech. Tech takes about as long as it takes 2 400s to build up, so it's really nice to understand. One Mass Dragonfly, yeah, there was two. There was a couple of. There was one Mass Dragonfly earlier where 2 players effectively their only anti-air was Dragonflies, so both of them were massive Dragonflies, which made sense because if they didn't have control of the air, they lost the fight. So, right, splash damage shots go off. Now these mortars can be manually controlled, so by default they will target the first thing that comes into range. That's what Boanaan was trying to do there. Put the mammoths at the front, get them to be automatically targeted, but Dewalt can just control the mortars and just make them target a cluster of blinks. Which is different from a turret, for example. Mortars giving a very nice reinforced position. Meanwhile, Boanaan's just like setting up and it's just like, well, I'll just get a 4th base then. Fine. Quite happy to just settle up and take the resource advantage. Problem is, in theory, Dewalt wants to meet that 4th base as well, but he can't. He can't. It's too scary. He needs to get mortars set up in that position. If you want to set mortars set up, you have to walk them all the way down here, or at least hold a concave. Which, unfortunately, he cannot. So, he's teching up. Going to Gargantuans, going to Snipers. Turrets can focus fire too. Can they? I don't think you could control them. I guess maybe you can actually. No, I know you can't control Guardian Shield. Oh well, I'm just aggressively spreading misinformation. Which is, yeah, that's the job of a commentator. A commentator's job is to spread aggressive misinformation about a game. They're annoying to click on. Yeah, there they are. Right, Mammoths coming on through, trying to make a poke round here. We have a couple of blinks up here on the top side. Going straight for that base, actually. And in fact, this army is not the fastest. So it will stretch itself out of position here. Blink Hunters drop on top of those butterflies, try and get a pick off on the mortars. They do get a pick off of quite a few of them. Do it here. These blinks have done a absolute shit ton of damage. This army has fought decently well, but no base has been picked off here. These butterflies didn't manage to get a whole lot off. The Blink Hunters have retreated, so this base might be able to do a huge concave battle going on here. Mammoths versus Blink and Mortars. They are fighting outside of the Mortar's range. That butterfly is cleaned up. These Blinks are actually still doing damage up here. And Gargantuans have actually joined the field. Is this base going to be picked up? This base does get picked off. 2-1. All right. There we go. Straight off and in. Dewalt gets on our scoreboard. There we go. Well played. Yeah, very well played there by Dewalt. Gets himself on the board. Found his win condition. Was a bit nervous there when he was a base behind, but classic 3-1 Boanaan. Boanaan's gotta make the story interesting. He can't have it be a 3-0. Maybe I paid him on a game per game basis. For each loss, I'm docking your wage. Motivate him even more. But yeah, Boanaan now locked into this deck for the rest of the series, whereas Dewalt has the 2 to flick between. Right, here we go. 2-1 in this series so far, Boanaan versus Dewalt. We actually see, oh my god, 1 base tech. Okay, so Dewaltos most commonly done what everyone else does, which is just immediately build. Got the Coca-Cola sponsorship, thanks, yeah. Immediately build this second base, but no tier 1 AA because this is Wasp Knight. This is Wasp Knight. And so he's gone, well, okay. I'm just gonna build butterflies, and you have nothing that shoots up. So it's going to be the question here at Dewaltos. Now, he's gone straight for dragonflies, which is the correct play. You've got to try and get one of these 2 up, and dragonflies is significantly easier to micro against butterflies. But there is a huge period where these butterflies are going to be on the field with nothing that shoots at them. Literally nothing. And so he could, theoretically, take it all and just kill him. And he might try and do that. So effectively, Boanaan's going to try and survive here. And look at what he's done. He's stocked up the mineral line, put these blinks in between the workers, so these wasps cannot get us around. They're trying to do so. They're going to get some decent damage off. But effectively, they're all going to be cleared up for very little damage. Incredibly well defended. And here's the butterflies. And this base is dead because there is nothing that shoots up. Boanaan correctly identifying a win condition here. Now he's straight up to 2 bases, and now that economic advantage that Dewaltas has had vaporized. Butterflies spreading out across the map. Dragonflies are online though, so anti-air does finally exist for Dewaltos. Wasps coming in, trying to get some snipes off on some stuff. I don't know if throwing away a wasp here is actually that useful, but he gets a little bit. It's not nothing. He's got to try and get something to grasp the resources back into the game. Boanaan could have killed the core. I don't know. At that point, the dragonflies were about 2/3 of the way or 3/4 of the way done. And I don't think that they do damage, but they do not do... Yeah, they've had a nerf to their core damage. So... And they've had a general nerf to their base damage. If he had 3 or 4 more, then yes, I agree. So yeah, builds the Hornets in the response to the Dragonflies. Dragonflies get a couple of picks off. Again, nothing too wild. But yeah, Hornets able to respond completely. Dragonfly space around. Basically, both players just sort of sitting around right now. We need to see what's going to go. Boanaan has immediately gone for this Foundry, getting that splash damage online. A huge amount of splash damage online, actually. Bombers and mortars, which is going to be so effective against this side. So we've got a period of time where Splash isn't online. So the time we try and do as much damage as possible with Stingers, Knights, and Wasps. And that's effectively what Dewalt is going to try and do here. A huge amount of Blinks on top of everything. Mammoths on top of it. Back. Yep, that's a GG, and that's just it. That is it. Boanaan takes our series. He is our champion overall. There you go. 3-1 in the series. Congratulations to our champion, Boanaan. He takes home the prize of 60% of £50, which £30, and a bomber statue, which will be very excited. But yes, very well played.